Hey, 818, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Matt? I'm a big fan of yours. How's it going, man?
It's going good. What's on your mind tonight?
It's a little surreal actually getting to speak to you. I've been a big fan of yours since I discovered you back in, I think it was 2016 when I came across your Ghostbusters video.
Ah,
So, yeah,
the
man, it's a real honor speaking to you, dude. I'm a
Ghostbusters is
real
the
fan.
gift that keeps on giving. 100% is the gift.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely,
I
man.
do
So,
appreciate, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.
of course, man. So I just wanted to actually talk about Spider-Man. I just had a quick thought. I was
Yeah.
talking about it with my girlfriend the other day, and I was just giving her my idea of, if they were to actually not go through with this deal, then I thought of a clever way how they can actually just completely undo everything that Marvel did for Spider-Man in the opening scene of the next movie. And you want to hear my idea for what
Yeah.
that might be? So basically, this entire thing that Peter Parker was going through, just basically, you ever, when you fall asleep, you ever have a dream that just extends, and for you, it feels like, it was like a few hours, but it really was just a few minutes, and you can't tell the difference. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, this happened to me before.
Well, that's exactly what the MCU would be for Peter Parker. Just a dream, just a prolonged dream sequence
I
that
had this
happened in his head.
I had this really weird dream where my aunt all of a sudden became this really hot chick and we lived in this apartment in Queens and not a house. And
Sure.
Flash was like an Indian guy and not a douchebag. Well, he was a douchebag, but like not, no, that could be something. Here's actually, I have a theory. I came up with my own theory tonight. I think
Okay.
I know why Sony wanted to maybe break this deal apart because I think it is all Sony. Let's be fair, it's all Sony at this point.
Right.
And I think what it was is they know that they need to put Spider-Man in Venom. I think they know that Venom was one of those movies that's a fluke. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great film either. And they confirmed that Woody
Right.
Harrelson is going to be playing Carnage, and we everyone wants to see Venom and Spidey fight Carnage, right? That would be like the ultimate, oh my god, for comic fans. And so what they do is they yanked him out of the MCU now, knowing that Marvel will always come to the table to make a deal again in the future. They're in this like Marvel right now is in this lull. It's in a break phase, which you kind of have to after Endgame, right? You kind of have to. You got to take a little bit of time to chill out and have some low stakes properties to kind of like get people interested again in what's going to be coming. And I think that could be a thing. It could be a thing where they have pulled him out in order to put him no strings attached, right, into Venom, and then make him and get him and Venom to fight Carnage, and then when that's over, jump him back in the MCU. Think about that one for a second.
That, that's really interesting. I didn't consider that at all, that it's just something they're doing temporarily. But, based off of that, I think by the time they actually make that movie, Sony will already be in the getting sold off probably to like Apple or something.
Well, if Sony
So by
sells,
that point,
if Sony sells, the rights for Spider-Man revert back to Marvel.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
so
So
like
at that point,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, I think Sony is in it for like maybe short-term game, right? I think they're in it for a short-term gain. Build up that
absolutely.
And the thing is cuz again, it's like why would you sit there and go, yeah, we can have, less risk financially into this property with the company that's already made us, $2 billion almost from these two films that they took 5% of first day dollar from. That was it, or first day gross. And Sony's made a lot of money. It's the only profitable goddamn franchise they have that's not animated. I just want to make that clear. Or TV, for example. And the thing is, they're also wanting to work on the Spider-Man TV shows set in the Spider-Man universe that won Best Animated Film. And guess what? Those shows, that universe that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are working on, that's dead now
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
Disney owns the TV rights to Spider-Man. So that shit's all dead now. So whatever Sony is planning here, it seems like it's a temporary play to get short-term gain in order to use Spider-Man right now. It's like borrowing it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. No, really, it feels like it. And I mean, again, I could just be completely overthinking this. Here, in the chat, if you guys think I'm overthinking this, press 1. If you think I'm onto something, press 2. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. But yeah, that's where we are right now, man. It's in a crazy place.
No, I think you're completely onto something. I didn't even consider that. We've always known that they wanted to incorporate Venom into, or Spider-Man into a Venom movie or vice versa. And I could tell that they never really had a plan to do that, with Marvel's approval. So yeah, you make a great point. Just pull them out temporarily, make the movie, see how it performs, and if it doesn't do how they expect, or if it gets negative reviews, then just give it back to Marvel. Like, here you go, you could have Peter again.
Yeah,
But I just feel like I just feel like if they did that, then it's gonna kind of break the current story arc we have with Peter. Like, they're gonna, and I know at the end of the day, Sony doesn't really give a shit about that stuff, but I mean, for the fans, at least for the people who are invested in these movies and want to see a continuation of that story arc, it's gonna be a little weird if we go back to that after so many years. Granted, we're not getting much of, at least we don't know at this point what Marvel was planning to do with that, but we're not really getting Spider-Man in anything Phase 4 related. But then again, look, we're getting random characters that are just popping up in different Disney Plus shows and in a few of these movies in the MCU, so you never know. They might have had something planned with Spider-Man in there just to make a cameo appearance in maybe a Doctor Strange movie or something, or even the Thor movie, who knows, or a Disney Plus show. But
if it's a Disney, they could put Tom Holland. Once Tom Holland is done with the Sony contract, the one more movie, he could then go off and do a TV show on Disney Plus, and they would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, they would do it in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, because actually, it wouldn't be. They could do Tom Holland in a Disney Plus show because they have the rights to Spider-Man, but it would be a different universe. I'm not too sure how the rights work on that because the Marvel Studios produced it. So would Marvel still have access? Like, is it a joint production between, so they share the assets, they share the new suits? I'm honestly not sure. So don't quote me on that one. It's more of a fan speculation sort of thing.
I have a quick question for you, because I know you watched the Midnight Edge videos, but there was one they did not too long ago when they actually discussed what's happening with the sharing arrangement between Sony and Marvel. And one of the things they said, and this is the thing that just is completely confused me, is they said that if for any reason this contract, if they weren't sharing, if it wasn't a sharing agreement anymore, then this current version of Spider-Man and all of the characters that are in the movie would be frozen, and neither company would be able to use it.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Well, that would make more sense.
Now we're getting conflicting. Yeah, now we're getting conflicting reports about how, he's gonna go off and he's gonna be in his own Spider-Man movie, and everyone's gonna be the same, except we're not gonna get any MCU characters. But that totally contradicts what they said in their video about this version of Spider-Man and all of the characters just completely being off the table. So it's a little confusing.
It's all a little confusing. I need to go and look up the finer points of the deal if that information is out there. Then again, I don't really, this was 2015 and I was in the process of moving at the time. So I was kind of busy, and so I may not have been paying attention. So I have to go look. I'm not saying that because I know Andre personally, and I like Andre quite a bit. So I think he would, he'd put out the best information that he had, but it would make a lot of sense that it would be frozen because it's a joint production. So then Marvel couldn't just take it back and do an Aunt May, Marissa Tomei movie or something. But I think it's pretty damn ridiculous that it got to this point. And but here's the biggest tell that it's Sony's fault. is that if it's true that they spent 6 months without talking to Marvel about a renewing the deal, if they waited 6 months before pulling out, then they were clearly planning something. Now, in the Midnight's Edge video, they did say that it does kind of coincide with Into the Spider-Verse winning Best Animated Picture, and that would make some sense. Sony clearly, and this is under Tom Rothman, they clearly get their, once they get a little bit of success, it's like give them an inch, they take a mile. Like you don't learn. Sony never learns how to properly run franchises, especially Tom Rothman. And he's just biting, because the thing is, he when it came to Ghostbusters, that was the Amy Pascal thing, but Tom Rothman ran with it so much so that he attacked the fan base and said, "Oh, all the trolls are just misogynistic," even though that wasn't the case at all. And so he's clearly has no problem with doubling down on bullshit to try to play a hand, but he keeps gambling and losing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. But if Sony keeps losing money, eventually, yeah, they're going to get sold off, 100%.
I can't wait. And with this deal, they're making sure that happens sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is though, the Spider-Man situation is pissed off a lot of people, and I think now that more information is coming out and people kind of realize who the culprit is, Sony, that's gonna ripple its way through fandom. Very similar to how Matt, people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's gonna ripple itself through the fandom. That's all.
When you talked about the whole 6 months, basically Sony ghosting Marvel, a thought came to my head. If that was the case, and Kevin Feige must have known that this deal is probably not going to go through, and he kind of accepted that a long time ago. But if that is the case, then why do you think they added that cliffhanger at the end of the movie when they didn't need to add anything like that? They could have had that as like the opening for the next movie if this deal was actually approved, and they could have started.
I think they were holding out hope. I think they were holding out hope is what they were doing. I think so. Yeah, I think it's what they were doing. But hey, man, I'm gonna let you go because I got about 20 minutes left tonight, and I know there's a couple more people that wanted to chime in.